So I was born in Quebec and I moved to Vancouver about 20 years ago. And then when I came here, I became a French immersion teacher in secondary schools. And from that, I continued with a Master of Education and I did my PhD at LLED. I've always been interested in cultural issues in education and how people meet and connect together through languages. So my PhD dissertation was in this topic. And so my research interest lies in intercultural perspectives to second language education. So this is about how people actually connect with others and learn to know about others through authentic experiences or authentic texts, and how by doing this, they also discover about themselves. And so this approach to learning second language is also connected or can be connected to issues of decolonization and anti-racism and inclusion and equity issues that are important in French education now. So when I finished my doctoral dissertation a few years ago, and in this dissertation, I was looking at how students on linguistic exchange through Canada were developing the intercultural competence. And so from this research, I'm going to work with the Conseil Jeunesse Francophone de la Colombie-Britannique. So it's a youth francophone group organization here in British Columbia, who is in charge of the exchange program that I was searching on during my dissertation. So some conclusions of my dissertations were that students on the student exchange developed through the course of the year their intercultural competence, but they all experienced different paths to get to this outcome. And some had very difficult experiences with their exchange partner, the school or the family. So I hope that this exchange guide will help future participants to better apprehend the exchange, and also help the host families to better accommodate the person they invite in their house, for example. One important issues in terms of structure is the availability of French teachers. There's a big shortage of French teachers in Canada and in BC. So there's issues of recruiting more French teachers and also to retain those teachers. Recent studies showed that as much as 50% of the French teachers who are in their early career think of leaving the profession. We need to find ways to keep those teachers in the profession. Another important issue is the actual questions of decolonization, anti-racism, inclusion and equity in French education, and the lack of resources to address those issues in French education. So often teachers would go back to what they're used to or to the resources that are available, and those resources are not always optimal to cover the issues that I mentioned in terms of decolonization, anti-racism, equity, and inclusion, for example. The first project that I initiated a few years ago is the BC Southern Interior French Educator Network. This network, based in the South Interior of British Columbia, aims to build community amongst often isolated French teachers in those areas and help them with professional development that will help increase their confidence and their legitimacy in teaching French as professional French teachers. Another initiative to help contribute reducing the French teacher shortage is one that we develop here with our BS students, is the core French option for non-specialists. So on the UBC campus, we have hundreds of teacher candidates in the Bachelor of Education. And some of those teacher candidates are in the French specialization, but many who are not part of the French specialization still have proficiency in French, they have potential skills and interest in teaching French, but they are not trained or prepared to teach French. So the core French option is meant to attract those people and to offer them some training, some help in improving their French proficiency and giving them some pedagogy to teach French as a second language. And so they can contribute once they go in the school district, they can add that to their teaching portfolio and potentially help teaching core French in their school district. So to contribute to the efforts of decolonization and anti-racism pedagogies in French education, we are currently doing a project with two professional associations of teachers, the APIC, which is the BC French Immersion Teachers Association, and the BC TLA, the British Columbia Teacher Librarian Association. It's a project funded by the Edith Lando Virtual Learning Center. And the goal of this project is to develop a database in which we review authentic texts who address issues of decolonization, anti-racism, inclusion, and equity, so that teachers have access to those resources, they know they exist, and so they can use it. And the database will also provide pedagogical suggestions based on the BC K-12 curriculum.